Katie, and I'm Katie ADHD on Instagram, and I'm a content creator. I was diagnosed at 29, and this is my third conference. I'm in an ADHD documentary about women with ADHD.
Excellent. Yeah. And what's the documentary's name?
It's called Anything But ADHD, and the premise is that women are diagnosed with everything and anything but ADHD.
Well, we are doing a whole month at Attention Different of radical acceptance. And so I wanted to ask you, how do you radically accept your ADHD? What does that mean for you or look like for you?
I think like the playfulness of ADHD and the excitement and the curiosity and the creativity, I always feel like so much more myself when I'm involved in a project where I get to be myself and be creative and be playful and make things exciting. I feel like I'm always like the personality higher when it comes to something because I keep the energy up, and I think that's really a good way for me to accept that and embrace that part of myself instead of feeling shame about it.
Yeah, because there is so much shame out there, right?
Yeah.
Of what we can't do or what's hard.
Yeah.
And we hear a lot of those external messages of just you're lazy or you're insufficient in this way and that way. And that's it starts to seep in. And those those external messages become internalized.
Right. Feeling too much, or I have to edit myself to be around people, and then it's just a constant motion of me shrinking myself and trying to fit the mold of what other people want me to be. And eventually that takes a toll on who I am and changes who I am, and I'm not being authentic or honest to who I am as a person. And I think that can really affect not me but other people like me too, because if other people see me acting that way, then they think that's how it is too. But if they see me acting like myself and embracing my authenticity and the bubbliness and the wild craziness of me, that's going to give them permission to be themselves and embrace that part of themselves too.
We say I am ADHD rather than I have ADHD. Yeah. What do you think? Do you look at it that way too?
Yeah, no, I'm an ADHDer. I love that. I feel like I've spent my whole life looking for an answer, looking for a label of something that made me feel like that's me. And when you look at what ADHD is, and I'm able to check all those boxes, it does feel like that's me and it fits and it feels good to have an answer. And so, yeah, I definitely am in that camp of I'm ADHD.
Yeah, because like you were saying before, the bubbliness, the creative part of yourself, that your personality, your innovativeness, all of those things, the social glue and butterfly qualities that you have, right? All of that stuff is inseparable from ADHD.
Right.
Right? It's part of who you are.
Well, if you took away the parts of me that are ADHD, I don't know who I would be. And I know that sounds bad. People well, that's not your identity. But everything I love about myself and all the things I've had to struggle with have made me who I am, do have to do with ADHD. ADHD impacts everything in my life, and I wouldn't want to change it. And sometimes it's difficult, but it's also brought a lot of great opportunities into my life, and embracing it has made me feel so much more confident. And I guess just having those answers has been wonderful and lovely. And
Is identity something to be ashamed about, or is it something we need to steer away from? Is ADHD my identity? Obviously, the label itself, it's problematic. Attention deficit disorder.
I'm not loving the name. I mean, I knew it was a little different there. I'm not a huge fan of that, but that is what we have. I don't know if it's going anywhere.
Yeah.
But
and it becomes that's the thing is right, people who are on the spectrum, right? Autistic folks, obviously they didn't come up with necessarily the labeling or the name, and that's changing, right? We don't have Aspies anymore and that kind of stuff. So it's always evolving and changing.
Yeah.
And ADHD used to be ADD and hyperkinesis and all sorts of other things in the past. But yeah, that's what we're doing here at Attention Different too, is reclaiming, reframing the label.
Yeah.
And even if we can't change that aspect, we can still accept this identity as we're part of this community.
I love that. Yeah.
All right.
Good. That was awesome.